Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Elizabeth and I teach you how to connect with your deck so you can build your spiritual confidence, listen to your intuition and read your tarot cards with ease. And today we are going to be delving into the deep symbolism of the Magician card. This is the second video in the series. I've already done the full card. There'll be a link to the full card in the comments. And today we are focusing on the Magician. So please don't forget, like, subscribe, hit that notifications bell so you never miss one of my uploads. And I'm going to spin the camera around and see you in a moment. Bye-bye. Let's have a look at the Magician card. So before I do, I just want to show you what I've got in my Etsy, the goodies I've got in my Etsy shop for you. And there will be links in the description for you to go and have a look at these. And of course, don't forget, if you don't want to miss out on one of my fabulous uploads about these breakdowns of the cards, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss one of my uploads. So let's have a look at these sheets. So these are my notes that I'm going to talk through today, which are on the Magician in a deeper level, going into the Golden Dawn symbolism. Then there are my cheat sheets that I've put together. These are really helpful if you're reading because they help you to remember what the cards are about. Then, of course, you've got my worksheet, which helps you to synthesize the meaning in a way that makes sense to you. So let's have a look. We'll have a look at these later after I've talked about the meaning of the card. So let's have a little look at this card. So the Golden Dawn name for this card is the Magus of Power. So this is about channeling your power. If we look at the numerology, first of all, it's number 1. So this is the first card in the major arcana. So 1 represents the beginning of projects, your creativity, having a clear focus, and being aware of your individuality and your personal power. If we look at the Hebrew letter is bet, in, at, or to be with. So this is a deeper meaning. This is about the universal energy inside you. So it's about your life, your body being your house and your soul being inside your body. But your soul is actually connected to the universal energy or connected to God. So it's about putting your universal energy out there into the spiritual world. So it's quite a deep meaning. So I hope I've got that right. So that's your Hebrew letter. And then if you look at the path of Bet on the tree of life, we see that there's Keith of the crown, and then we go on the 12th path, which is Binah of understanding. And if we look at the full card, you can see that, I'll get the right sheet. If we look at the full card, you can see that the path is also yellow, but we're going this way and we're looking at the wisdom we own, the things we decide to own within us. Then the next path, the 12th path, is about our understanding of that wisdom, intelligence of transparency. So really being aware that we need to understand everything that we own and that we believe we know. That's what that's about. Again, classical element of air, so it's about communication. It's about cutting through. If we think of the swords, which symbolize air, it's about cutting through and making ourselves heard. And of course, the symbolism is the planet Mercury. And the planet Mercury, if we look on here, symbolizes rules 2 of the astrological signs. So this is an astrological wheel of the year. It's a little bit different to a natal chart in that it is a static wheel of the year. It starts underneath the midline with Aries, you can see here. and we work our way around the wheel. So if you look here, we've got Gemini, which is the Lover's card, ruled by Mercury, which is the Magician. And then we keep going and we get to Virgo, which is also ruled by Mercury or the Magician. So you can actually see them on the astrological wheel. Now, I'm going to be doing some more work with astrology in the tarot, and this wheel will be available in my Etsy shop. And when it's available, I certainly will let you know. If you want to make sure that you don't miss out, please make sure that you join my community, and you can do that by going down into the description box, because there'll be a link there to join my members community. And every time I put something new up on my Etsy shop that helps you learn the tarot and get a deeper understanding, I always do a training video, and I also let you know in my emails. So that's coming. It's something I'm working on. Let me tell you, all these itty bitty cards on this astrological wheel was really one of the hardest things I think I've ever done, but I've achieved it. I'm really pleased. And you can see clearly where the cards are placed, which helps you to understand. So dates, again, if we have a look, May 21st to June 20, August 21st to September 20. You've got Mercury in Gemini and Mercury in Virgo. All right, so that's the Magician for the actual Golden Dawn symbolism. Let's have a look at the other symbolism and the actual card itself. So I want to bring the Fool card back in here, because the Fool has a knapsack, and we talked about that knapsack only having in it what you need. So the folklore goes that the Fool unpacks his knapsack onto the Magician's table. This is a little bit to do with the Fool's journey through the major arcana. The Fool unpacks his knapsack onto the Magician's table, and inside that knapsack is only what he needs. So the sword, the wand, the cup, and the pentacle is all he needs to go out into the world. If we look at this knapsack, you can see there's an image on it. Now, some people say it's a shell. And yes, it could be a shell, because when you put a shell up to your ear, you can hear the sea, you can hear the universe, is the folklore that we all know, we've all done it. You can hear it. But I actually think that's an eagle's head, or the image of an eagle. And the reason I think that is that when the Fool steps off the cliff, and if you haven't watched my full video, please watch it, because I go into great detail about the symbolism on this card. When the Fool steps off the cliff, he doesn't fly too high or too close to the sun. He doesn't come crashing to earth. He has balance and equilibrium. But also this little bird or eagle's head actually links up to the symbols on the table, because right there is a bird. So I thought that was quite significant. So understanding that in this card, we step out into life, taking just what we need, and then we channel our energy out into the universe through the Magician card. So if we look at the Magician card, let's look at those symbols on the table. So there's three symbols. There is... they basically are three symbols representing the triplicity, or this idea of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, or the three in one. Understanding yourself from a deeper level, from the level of your soul, from the level of your spirit, from the level of your body, which, if you think back to the Hebrew letter, this idea of your spirit being inside you and everywhere and linked to the universal energy. So the first symbol is water, which is your soul. The second symbol represents blood, which is your body. And the bird represents your spirit. So you've got soul, body, spirit, or spirit, body, soul here, or the three in one. So when you think about communion, where you've got the body as the blood and the spirit and the soul, you've basically got this idea of 3 in 1 or spirit becoming a person. So that's why that's there. The bench is a workbench or doing the work of life with your wand, your sword, your cup, and your pentacle. Let's have a look at the white symbolism. So you've got a white under tunic, a white headband, a white selenite wand, and white lilies. Well, the white lilies are about purity, and they link back to W.B. Yeats, who was actually a member of the Golden Dawn. And so it's kind of like a tipping of the hat to him. So there's your white lilies. You've then got this white undertunic, and we talked about white undertunics in the full card. That's about innocence and faithfulness and having faith in yourself, but also being pure of soul. If you think about your body as being that inner house, being pure of soul and pure of spirit, and channeling your energy out in a pure way using the selenite wand. Now, selenite is a traditional crystal that's used in magic to channel energy. So that's why that wand is there, and that's why it's white, and we presume it to be selenite. There's also a headband here, and if we look above the person's head is an infinity sign. So your infinity sign is about balance, it's about eternity, vitality, and repetition. So it's about this vitalness. And if we look at the white headband, that's telling you with a pure thought, going out there into the world with a pure thought. We've then got red symbolism, which I think is really significant. So you've got the red roses here, which again are about passion, and the red cape, which is about the passion in your innocence. Going out there with all the right intentions, leaving behind what you don't need and only using what you do. The next symbol is the yellow sky, and I talked a lot about yellow sky in the full card. Yellow sky is a consistent symbol all the way throughout the tarot because it refers to the story of Icarus and flying too close to the sun. So this idea of being in your passion but being balanced, this balance that's repeated in the infinity sign at the top of his head. The serpentine girdle, this repeats the idea of this infinity sign. You can see that the snake is actually eating his tail. So it's beginning without end, going out there and not saying to yourself, oh, well, I won't, I'm not going to do that anymore. Having that belief in yourself that you need to be connecting with spiritual energy and connecting with others in a positive way. A snake also sheds its skin. So this idea of shedding what's not needed. And of course, people often think of snakes as having a really negative energy, but actually the traditional symbolism of snakes is actually really positive. If you think of the snake in the Tree of Knowledge, and there's a snake in the Tree of Knowledge in the Lovers card. Here we are. If you think about the snake in the Tree of Knowledge, here you can see the snake is here. This is about fertility. This is not about being bitten by a snake or negative, the negative connotation. This is the positive connotation. This is about knowledge. This is about fertility and creativity and putting yourself out there. Yes, there's the manipulation and the idea that they can be poisonous and all of that. But in this card, I really think it's about the positive definition. So that is the Magician card. I do hope you enjoyed my outline of this card. If you would like to be part of my community, I would love you to come and join us. The links are down in the description box. And of course, if you want to be told about, YouTube to remind you about all of my uploads, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell so that every time I upload, you get sent a reminder about my videos. So let's have a look at the worksheet that you can use to help you make sense of the symbolism in the magician card. So I've got a symbolism cheat sheet that you can use that will help you to really understand the deeper meaning at a glance of this card. And I'm hoping that if you've watched the video, that when you're reading, or you might be reading a book, you might be reading the cards, and you think, oh, the magician, I just need a little bit of a trigger about what this card means. You can have a look at this cheat sheet, and it'll just give you a little bit of a memory jog. Because I know when I was learning, oh my goodness, I'd be reading and they'd just say, oh, 2 of swords this, 3 of cups that, and I'd be like, I can't even remember what those cards are. So I'm hoping that these will be really helpful to you. So let's have a look at this worksheet. So let's have a look. So the first thing you're going to do is think about what are some positive keywords for the tarot card and what are some negative keywords for the tarot card. So you might think about upright and reversed. I don't read reversed cards. You don't have to read reverse cards, but some people love reverse cards. They find them really, really helpful. So I like to think more about the cards that are surrounding the card and how that might influence the meaning, but everybody's different. So thinking about positive and negative keywords, and there is actually, I've got a keyword cheat sheet to help you that is in my Etsy shop. So I'll put a link to that as well in the comments. But of course, I've got some keywords here on the cheat sheet as well that will help you to get started. The words that have meaning for you, and this is really important because if you're thinking about how you are going to interpret the magician card and what's important for you in terms of understanding the card, then picking out those words can be really, really helpful. What's the strength of the card? What do you believe is the weakness of the card? So for me, the strength of the card is stepping out in your power. And perhaps the weakness of the card is not tuning in with yourself, being really mindful that you need to tune in with yourself. And if you think about the High Priestess card, which is the next card, that's the card that does ask you to tune in with yourself and your intuition. And I'll put a link. I'm going to be doing a video on looking at the before, the after, the in-between of this card using some reimagined Waite Smith decks that I've come across. And that talks very much about that linking between the Magician card and the High Priestess card and how they link together. So I will put a link to in the comments to that video so that you can watch that as well. 3 most important symbols of this card. So what would I say? I think the wand, the cup, the sword, the pentacle on the table is so significant because that's talking to you about your everyday events. Each one of these represents one of the minor arcana decks, suits, and each one of those represents an aspect of your life, your grounding and practicality, your emotion, how you communicate and how you take action in the world. Then perhaps another symbol might be that I love the selenite wand. That just really speaks to me. And also the snake. I really love the way the symbolism of the snake is interpreted in the tarot deck. There is so much more to it than just poison. No, I don't want to get bitten by a snake. So I love that too. I mean, there's so much in here. There's W.B. Yeats with the roses and the lilies, Tree of Life. So much to pick out. So much to pick out. But pick out the 3 that mean something for you. 2 things I learned about myself in this card that I need to really recognize that my inner energy or my inner soul, my inner spirit is housed in my body or my house, but it's actually part of the universal energy that we all interact in. So that's one thing I learned. How does the card make me feel? Really inspired, I have to say, really, really inspired. And what is my advice for my higher self from this card? I would say my advice for my higher self is recognize one and the same. Recognize that you are part of the bigger picture and not just yourself isolated in the universe. Combine your symbols and impressions and come up with your own meaning. So look at this whole sheet and think, okay, what are the things that I think are important? Add them together and come up with an overall meaning. And again, you don't have to write a lot. I've made this cheat sheet so that it's boom, 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 boom. And the power of using a cheat sheet is, number one, if you are super busy, you can set up a folder, you can put these in the folder, and every time you get time to do your tarot study, you can work on your folder and know where you left off, what's the next thing you need to be working on, and keep your tarot study going, because it's really hard. I found when I got busy, I'd be reading a book and I would forget where I was up to. I'd forget. I'd have to read the last couple of pages I'd read again, all that sort of thing. So that was where, my idea of worksheets and journals was born. And of course, the beautiful part about Etsy is you can download them and print them and have them instantly, which is pretty good. So I've really enjoyed talking about the Magician. Our next card is the High Priestess, which is number 2. Can't wait to see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.